Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom, finally here for the Championship review for the midweek round of games. Let me just catch you up. I've been on holiday. I saw all the games, all the goals and read up on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then I was travelling all day yesterday on Thursday and I just had no chance to get anything done. I was completely knackered when I got in. So it's early morning. I've got the dentist at 9 a.m. So it's 10 past 8. It's actually my birthday as well. You can wish me a happy birthday in the comments. That would make me really happy. So I'm trying to get this done and then we'll do the preview. 3-game week plus holiday plus travel day on the Thursday. Doesn't work out too well. So let's go through all of these games. I've got them in a bit of a weird order. So bear with me. I'm in the old school book. Notes written on the sunbed. But second game of a 3-game week. We're up to 4 games now played. Things starting to shake out. Some really interesting narratives as we go into the end of the 3-game week this weekend. Top of the league, game number 1 is Leeds United 1, Brentford 0. Leeds' third win in 4. They're looking really, really strong. Looks like they kind of dominated possession-wise, although Brentford did hit the post, I believe, in that first half. Alioski in at left back. Either way, though, Leeds really unchanged. That was the only player coming in. And they've been really stable selection-wise since the start of the season with Costa and Nketiah ready to come in the second half, and they needed them in this game. We know Leeds-Brentford games have been tight. In fact, Brentford drew at Leeds and famously beat them at Griffin Park last year. So bit of a hex over Bielsa last season. He couldn't beat them. But those two second half subs made the difference. Nketiah with the goal. Costa, lovely assist outside of his left foot, sliding it across the box to create the tap in. So Leeds potentially on for a 9-point week, and they've got problem club, we'll call them, or problem form Stoke at the weekend. So we'll get into that in another show probably later today, like I said. Leeds, they've squeezed the squad, make it smaller. One of the commenters actually said, but Ben, look at actually sort of 18 players worth. Is pretty good. And I agree. And this is the difference when Leeds are all fit and they can bring in Costa, bring in Nketiah. Hernandez didn't even finish the game. It all works out. You just wonder whether 46-game season and he plays first teamers in the League Cup and whatnot, whether they actually need more like 22. But if you've seen the Leeds documentary, you know Mr. Radrizzani is very keen on keeping the right side of the FFP and not even getting close to breaking that. So all looking great for Leeds. Really, really good start. And will they ace the 9-point week at the first opportunity? Top of the league. Brentford, they look close to their 1920 proper first team now. It's taken a few weeks to get them all out on the pitch. Another striker came in, Greek fella came in yesterday. Don't know much about him. Probably just Ben Rama for Canos. And that will be the regular team, although I don't know how good this Greek guy is. He's an international, whether he then goes in up front. They look like they've got a few to choose from for that front three, put it that way. So Brentford, maybe a few more weeks. Don't want to get too slow a start, though. So Leeds, top 10 from 4. Brentford, 18th. 4 from 4. They could do with at least 4 points from the next couple of games to rectify that. Remember, these first 10 games, you can move really, really quickly up and down that table. If you can just hit 2 points per game for either 2 or 3 games, you're going to absolutely shoot up and down the table. Really important positioning-wise, confidence-wise for the players. Moving on, speaking of confidence, one team that will be very confident, equally as confident as Leeds, because they're level on points, are Swansea, and it was QPR 1, Swansea 3. Great start from Swansea now under Steve Cooper. 3 wins from 4. They're matching Leeds. They're also on for a 9-point week. On 29, Selena with the opener. Remember, I would have seen Selena not last season, season before, whole season on loan at Ipswich. I'd forgotten how quick he was. He gets played in by, who was it? It was Ayew. Charges through the middle there. I've forgotten about his blistering acceleration and speed. Through he goes and slots in the opener there. Hugel heads in Elias Chair's cross for the equaliser. Quick reply though, Stonewall penalty here. And Baston scores again. He's joint top scorer in the league with 4 from these opening games. And then Ayew with another great assist on 79. Surridge, who's been brought in probably as an extra bench option, but he gets his first goal from close range. And it's all coming up lovely, isn't it, for Steve Cooper and for Swansea. I've said a long time now, take what was good last year, add to it. He's done exactly that. I think the off-the-pitch stuff kind of smudged the real issues, that there was this 20 million shortfall. They've shipped out that much worth of players and then managed to keep Ayew in there, and Baston's come back from in the cold and he looks like he's going to score a fair amount of goals if he stays in the team there. Real big thumbs up for Steve Cooper, carrying on the good work from last year, and they are right up at the top there. Let's see if they can get themselves entrenched in that top 6 and stay there this season. Big thumbs up for Swans. Rangers, no wins since the opening day at Stoke. And now you start to think, well, Stoke have started really badly and that's the only place you've won. Are Rangers now regressing? We thought really good start. Are they going to regress into the middle of the table or worse? Now, let's see. Swansea second, 10 from 4. Rangers 19th, 4 from 4. Third place, Fulham 4, Millwall 0. Now, this is really interesting because if you regularly watch the channel, you'll know I was at Fulham Blackburn and I was a bit worried about Fulham in that game. They kind of laboured to that. Didn't look like the strategy. They'd lost their first game as well. Didn't look like the playing out from the back was snappy enough and quick enough. And it looked like it was fairly straightforward to stop. And I was like, are they going to click? Are they going to click? Off they went to Huddersfield and got the win. But yeah, was that Cavaliero's quality at the end? Who knows? Well, they absolutely decimated Fulham. Fulham absolutely decimated Millwall in this game. And have they clicked now? Well, they certainly clicked in this game. And if this stays regular, then Fulham are going to be not long for the top 2. They're going to be in there very, very quickly, aren't they? Cavaliero reprises his Huddersfield goal here on 15. Lovely one into the top corner. He seems to have got into his stride quickly. Nice build-up as well. Kearney assisting, I think. 32, and I've retweeted this goal. Knockaert sneaks in for a header in between those big centre-halves of Millwall. But look at the build-up. And I still got some comments saying, oh, they're messing around with it in their own half. You're never going to stop English fans going forward, forward, forward. Watch how they move Millwall around. They have a couple of goes. They rotate on the right-hand side. They speed the pass. And that's a great goal by Knockaert. Mitro wins the penalty. I didn't see a offside there. They either completely left him or that was a touch and go one, but he gets the pen, sticks it in for 3-0. Kearney over the top for Cavaliero. Brilliant round bar in goal for 4-0. And this much tweeted and publicised stat, 84-point-something% possession, is some kind of record. As I say, I was worried about Fulham's pattern of play. And you know, I thought Millwall, I had a chat with a Millwall fan on Twitter as well. I thought Millwall were good at sitting back with the low block. That was obviously the strategy. Didn't work. They let them have way too much possession. Obviously set off too deep. So now you have the issue that teams are going to go to Fulham and they're going to be wondering, right, do we sit off low block and potentially get blown away by that deep build-up? Do we press and potentially leave big holes in midfield where they were all rotating? All of that front 6 will probably, except for Arthur, probably stayed put. But that's the question that Scott Parker wants teams to kind of not do either and fall into, and they will pick teams off with this quality. Now look at it. Arthur, Kearney, Johansson, Cavaliero, Knockaert, Mitrovic. If most of those are fit for most of the season with this style of play and it's working, It's going to be a good season for Fulham, isn't it? Millwall, wrong opponents on the wrong day. Maybe they've shown everybody a lesson now. Don't go too low block against Fulham away, but I think everything clicked. And Millwall, it had a really good start, actually. I was really optimistic about Millwall. Probably just write that one and move off. I think they're off to Borough. Like I say, I'll catch up with the preview later in the day. Maybe we'll even do a live stream if I get time. Fulham, third, 9 from 4. That's 3 wins in a row as well. Also on for the 9-point week. Millwall, 9th, 7 from 4. Be good for them to pick up, again, 4 from the next 2 and keep in that top echelon. I'd like to see Millwall have a good season. Big fan of Millwall, particularly that 2 seasons ago side. Moving on, 4th spot, Sheffield Wednesday back into it. They've reacted well to that defeat at Millwall, who we were just talking about. It was Wednesday 1, Luton 0. 3 wins from 4. Really nice form. The points all stack up nicely over the 2 points per game. Mark, great stuff from Lee Bullen. Bannon back into midfield, reach into a sort of 10 position. So we wondered whether these classic Championship players of the last 5 years would get back in. Luton dropped Brian at left back on the other side here. Butterfield sitting. Lualua gets a start up top. So Jones really kind of working the 3-game week here, which is good to see that Luton have got the options, even if the results aren't necessarily coming. They know their system, Luton. They got promoted with it last season. It was Kadeem Harris on 54. Comes from it's a bit of a mess. Bowl out from Sluga. Wednesday press, crossed in, headed back by Fletcher and thighed in. They create that big chance again Wednesday, despite Luton's possession attempts and passes. Wednesday do the business. Game management's really been good for Sheffield Wednesday. Impressive start from them. You wonder whether the more moneyed teams will slide past them. You're talking about West Brom's, etc. Cardiff, coming from a bit further back. But good stuff by Lee Bullen. Yeah, can't give them more than a thumbs up. Look tight at the back. And they have got quality, actually, when you look. Harris, Murphy out wide, Reach and Bannon. And Fletcher's a warhorse in this league, isn't he, to get the goals. Luton, no wins in 4 now. I keep coming on here saying I like Luton, I like the system, well bedded in strategy. They need to win some games, don't they? So I hope that comes. I hope they keep their poker face and they stick to their system, which you'd want to see them do after such success last year. Maybe we'll start to see Izzy Brown come in as a starter in there. He might be an upgrade on quality. Certainly was for Huddersfield a couple of seasons ago, wasn't he? Another away game for them at Barnsley this weekend. So Wednesday 4th, 9 from 4. Great stuff. Luton 22nd, 1 from 4. Luton, they need themselves a win, don't they? Someone who's got a couple of wins is Charlton. They're having a great start. They are up there in 5th, and it was Charlton 1, Forest 1. Charlton remain unbeaten, points shared at the Valley. Otsuma in this time. Lee Bowyer seems to just rotate that midfield every single game, doesn't he? Which is good to see that the promoted clubs have the resources to do that also. 18, Taylor, 4th in 4. He scored in every game. Super consistent. Lyle Taylor slams it in from a lovely cross by Lecco. Very difficult one to defend, that one. Adoma on as a sub. Equalises on 78 minutes. Bit of a mistake from the corner and he slams it in. Great impact from Adoma. That's his second of the season, isn't it? Charlton, 2 points per game. Great start from them. A striker scoring and creating plenty of chances and taking plenty of chances. That sounds like a really potent mixture, doesn't it? More power to Lee Bowyer there at Charlton for that great start. Forest, they're steadily building. I need to check these quotes from Lamouchi because I think he called out a few players last night on the local radio. No defeats in the last 3, steady but not spectacular yet. Charlton 5th, 8 from 4, 2 points per game, great start. Forest 13th, 5 from 4. On we go. West Brom in 6th, 1. Reading 1. Let's start with Reading on this. Reading, really impressive couple of games. They switched to this 3 at the back, brought their new strikers in. I know they've spent out, but great win over Cardiff and nearly run very strong West Brom team. So Impressive stuff from Reading. This time it was Boye and Puskás up front. Yao on the bench, no sign of Maite. Look like they've got some options now they've invested the money, and maybe they'll be less of a soft touch like they were down in the bottom six all of last season, pretty much, weren't they? On 71, Ejaria, he looks like he's stepped up now where he's going to be a leading player for a whole season in the Championship. Not like, oh, I'm coming down and I'm in on loan and I'll contribute here and then. He looks like kind of the man in that midfield now, doesn't he? Steps up, smashes in the opener from the edge of the box on 71. 88, late penalties, a whore to the rescue. This is the options some of these parachute teams have got, isn't it, to rescue the point there. So West Brom 2 points per game with a much changed 11. Excuse me, haven't blown anybody away, but you'd look at that as a big positive for West Brom if you've put on 2 points per game to start, and Pereira hasn't really worked his way into the team, Austin hasn't really worked his way into the team, and you're still in that spot, then that's pretty good work from Bilic. And I'm quite excited about seeing Reading if they can pass through in that midfield with Ejaria and Swift and Pele and any two of Boye, Puskás, Maite. Who's the other one I've missed out up front for Reading? I've missed out one of Jow, excuse me, forwards. Could Reading, be more upwardly mobile now? That would be a really great job from Jose Gomez, considering they've been kind of perennially down there. So much to look forward to for both, I think. Watch me eat my words on that. West Brom, 2 points per game, 8 from 4, good. Reading 15, 4 from 4, but very encouraging last 2 games from the Royals. Sorry, switching back and forward in the book. Right. Derby versus Bristol City. Derby 1, Bristol City 2. Bristol City in 7th. I had this predicted completely the wrong way around. I thought Derby have been more settled to start with. Bristol City, pretty much a new team like 2 games ago. They go there and get the win. Lee Johnson always proves me wrong, though. Whatever I say about Lee Johnson, just go with the opposite, because I always get that guy wrong. 3-5-2 again. Masengo starts, the 18-year-old. I wonder how many games. Let me know in the comments. How many games do you actually think he'll play? Because he's been used quite a lot. Nagy had played a few in a row, so he gets rested. Everyone on top of this rotation now, just complete norm in the Championship, apart from Bielsa, isn't it? Bielik, his first start with Huddleston, in the midfield, double pivot for Derby. Want to see how he works out. Big signing in there, did well for Charlton last season. 16, Vyman mugs off Roos here, and then superb turn, great feet, lovely little giffable goal by Vyman, sticks that one in, good play. And then killer one, wasn't it? You're trying to play out to stay at 1-0 for half time, and Bristol City stick the second in. Derby caught playing out from the back, so 2 kind of preventable goals there. Oh, maybe I'm being unfair about the first one, but certainly the second one. Brownhill strokes that one home nicely, and you're defending a 2-0 lead, and we know Bristol City have got good energy when they're up for it, haven't they? 85, Marriott on as a sub here, spins and bends it into the corner, left-footed for 2-1. Bristol City hold out for the win. You've got this constant battle, which is probably good for Koku, between Marriott and Waghorn for that forward position. Lampard and Koku seemingly always seem to favour Waghorn, maybe better all-round game, but Marriott's so dangerous running in behind. First defeat for Koku at Derby. Back-to-back wins for Lee Johnson. Could he do a 9-point week and prove me wrong as well up at Hull on Saturday? Bristol City, 7th place, 7 from 4, in their spot on the edge of the playoffs where they were for much of last season. Derby, a bit lower, 14th, 5 from 4. Here we go. Birmingham 2, Barnsley 0. Blues bounce back from a bit of a hiding at Forest at the weekend. Barnsley now 3 without a win and conceding 2 in each game. Are Barnsley 2 open? Let me know in the comments here. No Crowley for Bruce. Jimenez starts up front with Jutkovic. Such a great partnership between Jutkovic and Adams. And we know in this league, that type of beast forward, can win all those aerials. Jutkovic, very good in the air. 69, Barnsley giveaway, edge of the box. They can't get out. Just couldn't clear. Second phase, Harding gets 2 goes at the cross, hangs it up, and Jutkovic just gobbles up those goals. If it's a hung-up cross and the keeper can't come, he normally beats up on those centre-halves, and he does. So, Seddon, big diagonal on 77. Jimenez in, lobs the keeper. Lovely goal over Radinger for 2-0. And Blues upwardly mobile. I suppose slightly inconsistent. They had that odd XG win with 0.01 XG over Brentford on the first game. A big defeat against Forest where they were, thrashed, frankly. Now good win. Looking for some consistency. Don't know what the real Birmingham is with that impressive array of midfield players now trying to rotate from a more direct style under Gary Monk. Was the Barnsley win at Fulham a false storm? We all got excited. We looked, here's another German coach, here's another energetic team. Great win over Fulham. Was that more about Fulham than Barnsley? We'll see, because they have not won since. Although they were very close against Charlton, weren't they? So maybe not all doom and gloom for Barnsley yet. So Birmingham, 8th place, 7 from 4. Barnsley, 20th, 4 from 4. Where am I going next? God, this is a nightmare. I wrote Tuesday up after Tuesday and Wednesday up after Wednesday. Didn't know what the league positions were going to be, did I? We're going to go Preston 3, Stoke 1. Preston being good at home continues. Stoke conceding rubbish goals continues. What has happened to Jack Butland? I saw firsthand Bartosz Białkowski, who was like 3 times Player of the Year for Ipswich, have a horrendous season, go from being very reliable when the confidence went. Is the same happening to Jack Butland? England goalkeeper Jack Butland, goodness me. 7th minute, Daniel Johnson. Preston did exactly the right thing here. They just, got about those centre-halves, and the goalkeeper tested him. Probably clear instructions from Alex Neil, and it worked a treat. At the moment, you put Stoke under pressure and they fold like anything, don't they? Big one forward into the channel. Stoke clear to the edge. Johnson's following up. Johnson's been a good player at this level for a while, hasn't he? Straight through Butland's hands, though, poor from the keeper. I think he'd come to... No, that's the punches, the second goal. So let's go on to that. 25th minute, Bodin. A big boot again. Really unconvincing from Butland. He's trying to be assertive, and he's kind of trying too hard, really. Punches... moves his centre-half out the way. He's retreating back to his goal. Under his body. Horrible by Butland in goal. Don't know what's going on there. Don't like to see any player having a nightmare like that. But he is at the moment. So 2-0 to Preston. And then this third goal is just a classic one where your luck's kind of out. Johnson, initial shot, it's a good save, and Harrop does everything right, and you're kind of, from a Stoke point of view, thinking, falls exactly to that guy who sticks it in exactly the place first time, and it's 3-0, and Stoke are having a very bad start. 89, McLean. Deep cross there. Was it Gregory or Hogan put that cross in? Can't remember. Fires in the consolation. McLean, I said in my preview, you do not want to go to Preston when you're not at it. They'll do exactly what I thought they do. Test the centre-halves, test the keeper. More power to them. They get the win. Preston unmatched for intensity at home. Often, I suppose Leeds fans will argue with that. But real up-and-at-'em stuff from Preston. Great stuff from Alex Neil. Stoke, this is a really interesting one now. The metrics are good. They've pretty much, based on XG, I know a lot of people... I think XG is very telling when it goes wrong. You can tell more about XG when it goes wrong than it goes right, I think. Because you can see with Stoke, floppy defending, weak confidence and poor finishing, despite basically... in-game, kind of creating chances, kind of following the instructions. And my mate, Jay, at Blades Analytic, great follow on Twitter, really good. He posted about this, and I totally agreed. Hold your nerve now and stick with it, and it comes right. Or hold your nerve, and the confidence is gone. He's, quote, lost the dressing room, and it goes wrong for more and more weeks. And these... bunch of players are just not going to win with this manager. I wonder which way it's going to play out. Really interesting at Stoke. I know it's not an apples to apples comparison, but I just remember Daniel Farker in his first season at Norwich. We all giggled at the Norwich fans. Loads and loads of possession, chances created, 14th in the table. Got a couple of good fullbacks, got a good forward. Things clicked. and all of a sudden the XG caught up with the expectations. The reality caught up with the expectations. Excuse me. And away they went. No, it's not a clear comparison. It's not. Look, not everybody's going to get the best case scenario. It's not going to all work out for everybody. But if it does work out, Stoke will start winning games. But they're bloody bottom. So the reality is not matching up with the expectations at the moment, let's just say. Preston, 10th, doing their thing at home, but not away. 6 from 4. Stoke, bottom. 1 from 4. Second-year parachute team. Loads of players, tons of salary. Oh, they're an interesting watch, Stoke, at the moment. And it's Leeds at the weekend. Goodness me, where am I going next? That can be one of my new catchphrases. Where am I going next? I'm going to Hull. Hull 0, Blackburn 1. Tony Mowbray's like Lee Johnson. Well, Tony Mowbray's more predictable than Lee Johnson. When it's down for Mowbray, he'll do this. And I was worried about Blackburn after the Fulham game. Boom, 2 straight wins, sorts it out. Experienced players in 2 games, 2 goals, 2 clean sheets, 2 wins. Boom, looking a lot more stable straight away. Armstrong in up top for Rovers. Good rotation there from Mogga. But Downing retains his spot. And the win rate, as a starter, Stuart Downing's got 100% win rate. Don't know whether there's a coincidence. Experienced players in like Graham. I know Graham wasn't in for this one, but that was Mowbray's plan. And it worked, didn't it? The normally imperious Bowen. Normally just waxing about him. Misses a penalty. Goodness me, with that right foot of his. Kudos to that Rovers fan who's gone viral on Twitter, dancing around behind the goal. Grzycki hits the post. Downing hits the post. Johnson clips the woodwork twice. Could have been much more high scoring in this one, but it wasn't. Downing quality from the set play, 62. Free kick goes in. Glanced in by Williams. Great comeback from losing their first 2. Mowbray is a steady pair of hands after all these years. I know I'm biased as an Ipswich fan about Mowbray, but impressive comeback. They could be sitting a lot lower in the table now. Stuck to it, stuck to the 4-2-3-1. Little tweaks, experience, and held their nerve, and good little reply by Blackburn. Hull are just inconsistent and very reliant on those 2 brilliant wide players. You think Hull are going to be all right this season, but we know Bowen's got that extra year on the contract, nailed on to go in January or in the summer. They must have made some agreement with Bowen, a Ferguson-Ronaldo agreement here, give me 1 more year. Expect more inconsistent, expect more great wins, but more weird defeats like this. Rovers 11th, 6 from 4, so they're above Hull. Hull 17th, 4 from 4. Where am I going next? I'm going to, there's only 2 left. Cardiff 2. Huddersfield 1. Huddersfield mirroring Stokes. Pretty crappy start, aren't they? Cardiff, second late home winner of the season. Warnock, he loves a gamble and a late home win, doesn't he? Great stuff after that pasting at Reading. 42, big bomb into the box. Come on, Warnock. Cardiff, really good at recycling. We've seen Millwall been able to do the same. You see these teams, it's like they're treading water trying to clear these hard at Cardiff set plays. Rules on top of it, bangs it into the net, 1-0. 50, Chalobah spinning round, spirally run, smashes it in low, left-footed. I really like Trevor Chalobah. Had a horrible job being a young player on loan at Ipswich. You can see there's a lot of quality there. Chelsea loanee, hope he does better, but he's in a similar spot than Ipswich, exactly the same spot as Ipswich were at this point last season. Hadn't quite gone bottom yet, but good luck to Trevor Chalobah. Hope he has a good season. Their 88th minute, it was a 96, so a little bit earlier than last time against Luton in the home game. Bogle and Hoyler on for Glatzel and Tomlin. Bit of a muggy deflection. Hoyler didn't necessarily run off celebrating his brilliance here. He was a bit embarrassed, I think. Deflection goes in, but they will take it. Warnock knows the value of the home games. He knows that 1 point is, well, stating the bleeding obvious. Often you think 1 point's not really worth a lot in these games. Managers, they would much rather have a win and a loss rather than 2 draws, especially those that play the long game like Warnock. He always gambles in the home games, and he more often than not gets the win here. Cardiff haven't started well, but they're going to be around, and there's always a point where Warnock wins 5, 6, 7, 8 on the trot, doesn't he? They get into their groove and become very hard to play against. So expect that to happen, I think. Huddersfield stay in the bottom 3, need a manager fast. So Cardiff, I haven't written down the points here, must be 6 from 4. 12th place. Huddersfield, sorry if I've got this wrong, they've only got one draw, haven't they? Draw at QPR, lost all the others. Yeah, Huddersfield must be 1 from 4, excuse my poor research. Last game, where is it, Ben? There we go, Borough 1. Wigan 0. I'm not going to miss Borough out again this time. Well done, Jonathan Woodgate. He gets his first win finally. Howson goes back to right back. Clayton into central midfield. They're a bit similar to Mowbray there. Just get your experienced players on the pitch. Or was Dyke still suspended? Did he get a red card? I think he might have been suspended. I could have completely made that up. Correct me in the comments. I'm sure you will. 23, Howson with the Beckham-like assist. There you go, from the right-back position. Sombalonga to head home that winning goal. Borough might take a bit more time to improve this pattern of play, but I like what Woodgate's doing. He's stuck to it. There seems to be a philosophy. I think Gibson will be fairly patient with him. They've got their first win. They certainly seem to, I don't know if this is going to be the pattern this season, they seem to have enough to be able to knock over the bottom 6 or 8. Don't know whether they're going to be a bit more of a soft touch against the top 6 here. So that could really, reveal a kind of upper second quartile team, upper mid-table team. We'll see, hopefully, more with some of the quality of players. But remember, Woodgate, inexperienced. Wigan went 3 at the back. Moore and Lowe now starters. 3 defeats in a row, though. And they're so bad away from home, Wigan. When they lose at home, you get these poor runs. Borough, 16, 4 from 4. Well done, Woodgate, first win. Wigan, they're going to want to just play all their games at home. 21st, 3 from 4. There we go. I've done it. I've caught up finally. Well, I haven't caught up because I need to do the preview. 3-game week, holiday, birthday, etc, etc. So I'm going to go to the dentist now. I'm going to hit upload on this. You can follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. I don't know what my missus has got planned for my birthday, so I'll try and hopefully get a live stream in later tonight, although we may well go for dinner. Although after my holiday, the last thing I need is to eat more dinner, put on a few pounds, let's just say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient and waiting. I know a couple of the Fulham fans were like, come on, do your review, talk about my team's brilliant performance. So there we go, we've done that. We've mentioned all of that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. We're in the grind now, so it is almost daily, and now I can really get back focused. Now I'm back off the holiday and have things like Wi-Fi and the ability to catch up, actually go to games. So I'm planning on doing the review later today. And where am I tomorrow? God, I don't even know my ass from my elbow. I am at Derby, aren't I? I'm at Derby versus West Brom tomorrow. So check out the review for that if you're a hit follow, if you're a Derby or a West Brom fan. Support on patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. This will always be free on YouTube, but you can help me out, the equivalent of buying me a coffee or a beer or a Subway sandwich or whatever each month. Help me out trying to realise my dream of, making enough money to be able to do this full time and be even better at it. That would be amazing. Right, I'm going to shut up. I've gone 32 minutes. These reviews get longer and longer. Hit the comments if you watch right until the end to let me know. I'd be really, really pleased. Oh God, I've got to have my teeth straightened still. Got to have more stuff fixed in my teeth. I've had a month off that, so wish me luck in the next hour and wish me happy birthday. God, I'm pandering, aren't I? Thanks for watching. Over and out.